Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books. My books are getting dusty because I've been listening to more audiobooks than reading books. But this is my November wrap-up, so we should get right into it. I'm so excited. I'm not very happy with myself because I kind of laid around last night and didn't finish the audiobook that would have gone on my November wrap-up. But it doesn't really matter because it'll be done by 2017. And I'm reading right now Jeffrey Self's A Very, Very Bad Thing. It is fantastic, and it's interesting because I just finished reading Autobiography, and they're literally two young adult novels that are both written about religiosity in regards to homosexuality, and it's very, very interesting, the different takes on them. So if that's something that you're interested in, Jeffrey Self, who wrote Drag Teen, that was one of my favorite books from last year. It was so funny and endearing, and he writes characters in such a specific way that like you will never forget them. And I'm not that far into it, honestly. I'm like halfway through it, but this best friend of his that he has, her name is Audrey, and she wears like big sunglasses, and she thinks she's like this movie star on Broadway, but she has like a horrible voice and she can't sing, and she's always putting down high school and everything like that. And I just love this character so much. It's like she's like somebody that I know so well in my real life that it's like you just can't not like her, right? And the main character is Marley, and that's such a great name for a character anyway. And anyway, it's just a really, really good book. It's about a guy. Now listen, both of these books, y'all want to come from my book and say it's insta-love. My book was a little bit insta-love, and I like insta-love. I don't mind it. But if you cannot stand insta-love, I'm telling you right now, A Very, Very Bad Thing by Jeffrey Self and Autobiography are not books for you. I mean, like, they literally fall in love, basically, on the first page. Or they should have, at least. But the first one, Autobiography, deals with the Mormon religion. It deals with people that are LDS, Latter-day Saints in Utah, and, like, how they deal with coming out. It's very, very interesting. And it also really addresses people's conflictions between sexuality and religiosity and their spiritual beliefs. And it was done so well, you guys. I gave it 5 stars, and we'll talk about that in a second. Well, I mean, I'm talking about it right now, so we'll just talk about it right now. It was so well done. I gave it 5 stars. The characters were so richly developed. I loved the characters. I loved the narrator that was done by Audible, so if you want to listen to it on Audible, Autobiography, and I will tell you, because I listen to a lot on Audible, whether I like or dislike the character or the narrator. And I will tell you what's interesting is on A Very, Very Bad Thing by Jeffrey Self, I don't love the narrator. I don't love him because of the way that he depicts one of the characters in it, and it's the love interest, Christopher. And the reason I don't like him, I don't know why. It just kind of grates on my nerves. And then, like, Alex was in my car, my husband Alex, and he goes, "That guy sounds just like you." And I go, "What?" He goes, "It sounds just like you." So I think like maybe that's why I don't like him, is because he talks just like me and says like, and oh my God, and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably why. It's probably like, here's your mirror. But anyway, it's such a fantastic book anyway. And it is about the gay, or pray the gay away kind of movement, and the evangelical Christian movement. And the one child is the son of like a super, super well-known preacher. It is so interesting, you guys. And it's very short too. It's very, very short. But Autobiography was so well done. And what was the finest to me was not the story or the characters. So the main character has a best friend, and so the main character is Jewish, which is very interesting that they played that against somebody that was Mormon. And then he has a best friend, and she's just fantastic. And it's done so realistically. I mean, literally, I was listening to it, and I was like, is this my story in high school? Like, it felt like my story in high school with me and, like, my best friend who was a girl. It very much played that way, and I don't want to give away a lot of my story. I have a new channel called Peterisms. It's listed below. It used to be My So-Called Healthy Life, and I'm doing all stories over there. So you might hear that story on that channel. But anyway, I loved Autobiography, and I would give it 5 fingers up. No, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. And while we're talking about Goodreads, because I'm going to look at my book, I noticed on here, people like friend me all the time, because I say, if you friend me on Goodreads, I will always accept your friendship. And I have recently been going in, and I have been like liking people's books they read. Like, this is so hilarious to me, you guys, but I love Booktube so much. But this just cracks my shit up, okay? That I am totally a dude with a camera that talks about books. And like some girl the other night, I like liked, she was reading something, I can't remember, I liked it, and she sent me a message, and she's like, oh my god, I'm fangirling so hard. Oh, that is so sweet. I love that so much. But anyway, I was like, you're fangirling because I liked the book that you were reading. Cute. I mean, that is so sweet, right? And what's so funny about that is when I started, if I had sent a book, if like Jesse the Reader or like Tiernan the Booktuber, I love him so much, or like Connor O'Brien, oh my god, or who else? Christine or Benjamin of Tomes. If any of them had like liked my Goodreads, I would have been like, ah! You know what I mean? I would have lost it. But I'm still not there, so. They're just like, oh, well, girl, you're just a guy with like just a girl with a camera. See, that's why I can't stand that Jeffrey Self narrating the book. But I did follow him on Instagram. So anyway, let's go in here right now. I have 2 friend requests. One is, I think it's pronounced Ty, it's T-I, and the other one is Brittany. And so there, you both got accepted. So hi, Ty, hi, Brittany. And speaking of that, I cannot accept that. It keeps on going to their... Let's see what Bethany is reading. She recently read Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, one of my all-time favorites. She recently read Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I just read that too. She must have found me from here. She read Maggie Steve Otter's The Dream Thieves. She's read all kinds of books. She wants to read, she and I like the same things. Well, Brittany, all right. So anyway, it might be Brittany, I'm not sure. Let's get right in this video. Oh, by the way, what I was going to say is in 2018, I'm going to try something on this channel. You know, we talk so much about these bigger YouTubers and stuff like that, and I always say what a wonderful place BookTube is, and even people that have, you know, 2 subscribers, well, it's so awesome. They're still putting videos out there on a daily basis. But the reality is, I don't do a lot to help those smaller YouTubers or BookTubers get some notice. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to really try. In 2018, I'm going to really try, and y'all know, how often do I make videos? Daily. I make videos daily. So in 2018, I am going to attempt to every video shout out a new booktuber that has less than 1,000 subscribers so we can get them some notoriety. I can never say that word. So we can get them some attention, okay? And everybody can come and watch their videos. Biggest phenomenon of 2017 on BookTube, Lily C. Reads. I love her. Have you ever seen anybody shoot up like that? Not me. It didn't happen to me. I work my ass off, Jeff. That's from Hey Paula. Paula, the old Paula Abdul reality show. Oh, God. And then she just posts videos like, I love Lily so much. I do. You guys are like, what is this to do with a wrap-up? Well, not much, but it's my video, so get over it. Okay. Okay, is that book A Very, Very Bad Thing by Jeffrey Self? Yes. Okay, so let's get right in. The last book that I read before that was Autobiography. Please pull, it's waiting, it's pulling. And that is by Christina Lauren. And if you listen to the Audible version, it's really interesting because at the end of it, they have the person that narrated it, like they interview him about 2 books of their, I don't know, it's very confusing, but I didn't listen to it, I sped right through it. Finished it and started the next one. But Autobiography, I gave 5 stars too. If you go back, I have a video like a week and a half ago that I did, and it was like my mid-November wrap-up because I had read so many books in November. Here, I'll count them for you. I don't even really know. That I was like, I can't do an entire wrap-up or it'll be 30 minutes long. So I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now I'm on my, well, I didn't finish it. So I read 9 books in November. That was a pretty good November. I think last month I read 12 books. So realistically, if I had read this much, I would have hit my goal for the year. And I haven't even read that hard. Like, it hasn't been that hard for me to do this. I would have hit my goal of 100 books, but I'm at 59, so that's not going to happen because January, February, March, I sat on my lazy butt and didn't do anything but watch TV. So that's the problem with Netflix when you're a booktuber. Okay, the book before that I read was Bear, Otter, and the Kid by T.J. Klune. Now, I don't know. This was like on sale on my Audible, and it was in my wish list. Somebody recommended this book to me. I don't know who it is. Oh, I had talked on here the other day about this book that I read that was a gay young adult novel, and it was by Mark Roeder. And Mark Roeder has written, I mean, literally like 50 books, you guys. And they're called Bloomington Boys because Bloomington is the city where Indiana University is, and he lives in Bloomington. And the covers of these books, Now listen, if y'all go look at these covers, you're going to think, what dirtiness is Peter reading? All of them look like really bad porn from the 70s. But anyway, I do not like the covers. I mean, if he called me up, if Mark Roeder said, hey, I love your opinion, what do you think? I'd say get rid of every one of those covers. Those covers suck, okay? But he did this book, and the cover of this book I didn't love anymore, and it was like a black and white, two men like holding each other half naked. It didn't. I don't love those kind of covers, okay? And it was called A Better Place. And somebody said that he was like such a great writer, and I was like, okay, well, he lives in the same state as me. Let's see if he's a John Green. So anyway, because John Green lives in Indiana too. So anyway, I looked up like his most famous book, which was called A Better Place, and I was blown away. It is one of my favorite LGBT young adult books this day. So go check out Mark Roeder, A Better Place. It's fantastic. And the Audible version is even better. But anyway, so underneath there, I'm constantly looking for like new LGBT books to read. And TJ Klune has won Lammys, which are the Lambda Awards for books. And it's kind of like a really huge, prestigious honor. I would love to have won one, but the year that my book came out, so did Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Let's just be real honest. I didn't have a chance in hell next to that book. So anyway, I love that book. It's one of my favorites, which is why I won't be publishing my book next year when the sequel comes out. I mean, I've learned my lesson, right? Okay, but I found Bear, Otter, and the Kid, Bear, Otter, and the Kid, book number 1. And it's about, so here's the story. Bear, they're all nicknames, right? Okay, so if you don't know, like this is what I don't like about the book, right? If you don't know anything about gay culture, a bear is a really hairy guy, okay? Like a big, beefy, hairy guy. And an otter is like a younger, thinner, hairy guy, right? So I didn't love that they used those words when in reality it has absolutely nothing to do with the book, okay? So the kid is called Bear because he couldn't pronounce words when he was a little kid, but he's like not at all. He's like, I think when the book starts, he's like 21 years old and he's like thin and wispy. And then his love interest, so his mom leaves when he's 17 years old, like 2 weeks away from graduating high school and turning 18. And she says, I'm going off with my boyfriend and you can take care of your little brother who's 5 years old. Here, I'm gonna leave you. She steals all of his money and leaves him $137. Okay, so if that's hard to believe, imagine then that every one of his friends' parents says, we'll take care of you, we have so much money. In fact, the book even says that. My parents have so much money, we can just give you all kinds of money because my parents have so much money. Who says that? Nobody says that, right? It was so bad. So anyway, but I did kind of love the story. I mean, I did. Because then it's about this guy and his best friend's older brother, Otter, comes back. And it's this love story between them. And it really is a love story. It's not sexual. I mean, there are sexual parts, but it's not nothing more than you would read in any other book. And like Otter has fallen in love with Bear years before, and they just fall deep. And he went to California, I don't know, be a movie star or something. Who'd care anyway? But then he comes back, and then they fall in love, and it's all about their love story and how they're gonna make it work. And then, of course, I won't tell you the end in case you want to watch, in case you want to read it. But I'll tell you, so boring. But anyway. And if you want to find out more, there's 5 books in the series. I think I'll pass. Okay, next book. I gave that 3 stars. I was really fair. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was interesting to listen to, but oh, kill a beast. The book I read before that was, I don't remember where I stopped on my last wrap-up. So, the book before that I read was The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Oh my God, I hope I didn't scare your cats, but that book is so fantastic. Let me just tell you, I loved Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda. I'm obsessed with The Upside of Unrequited. And I really didn't think I would like this book, okay? And you know, this is where I think it's really important to admit your own lack of interest that can almost sometimes prejudice you against a book. Does that make sense at all? It's like, this is gonna sound crazy, okay? And I mean no disrespect by this whatsoever, but when I read the back of this book, I honest to God thought that this is like so many of my friends are like, oh my God, you would love this book, and it's about these lesbians, and blah, 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 whatever, okay? Well, I'm not a lesbian, so I don't love reading books about lesbians, no offense, okay? If I was a lesbian, I would totally love that, just like I do not love reading love stories about heterosexual couples. My favorite thing to read is gay romances. I mean, not totally, and I don't love that male. Somebody contacted me the other day, thank you so much, and defined the difference between male-male romance and male-male I don't know what the difference is, but the difference is basically that one is basically a romantic, I was going to say romantical, I made that word up, a romantic story, and the other one, well, it's not. It's what happens between the sheets, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I don't really care for those books. But I'm just saying, like, it's not my gig, okay? And that's what I thought it was. And I almost didn't read it because of that, number one. Number two, I hate the cover. I hate the cover of that book, okay? I think the cover of that book is stupid. And I know it looks like this, it's kind of in the same vein as Simon vs. Homo Sapien Agenda, and he makes a cameo in it, but it just doesn't work for me. I don't love it, right? So anyway, but now I'm going to read all kinds of lesbian books because it wasn't even a lesbian book. And I loved it. And it deals with pansexuality and it deals with asexuality. Oh my God, it just is so fantastic. And it deals with religion. It is just such a great book. And it portrays teenagers the way teenagers really are. Thank you, Becky. I loved this book. It was so fantastic. There was nothing about it that I didn't love. And it was so funny because one of my friends why am I even saying this? One of my really good friends is an avid reader, right? Is a lesbian. And she had read it, and she was the one that recommended it to me. And I said, hey, can I ask you something? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, could you recommend some more books to me? And she goes, lesbian books? I go, yes, girl. She was like, yeah, I've got all kinds of books. You'll love them. So that's like my point of diversity going forward, that I'm going to make an effort to do that. I'm going to make an effort to read books of all kinds of sexuality because it really educates me. I don't know a lot about asexuality and I don't know a lot about pansexuality either. So if you guys know really great books about that, please put it in the comment section below and I would love to read them. I know there are some fantastic books about that out there right now. And, you know, it just makes me want to open my mind more. I'm not going to come on BookTube and be a total bullshit artist and say, you know, that I'm so open-minded to everything. There's some books that I have like, I have no interest in reading that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, somebody just sent me the autobiography of Farrah Abraham, the OG of Teen Mom. No thanks, but it was a total joke that they sent it to me, so I love that they sent it to me. But I'm like, I ain't reading that. I have no interest, right? So there are books that I have no interest in, and I need to be honest about my biases, but I also have to be open to reading things that will educate me and open new doors for me. And I think that's what BookTube is so fantastic about doing, because when I watch people's videos, I'm like, oh my God, I had never heard of that book before. So if I had to make one recommendation, go watch my other one. I think before that, it's To Kill a Mockingbird, which I've talked enough about on my channel. And before that, I've read everything else, The Drowning Girls, I talked about on my last video. If I had to make one recommendation for this month, it would be Becky Albertalli's The Upside of Unrequited. It was I loved it so much. So anyway, go check that out. Go check out all those other books, and I will see you guys back tomorrow. I love you.